One robot just unscrewed a light bulb using its fingers. Across the room, another tied a knot around a trash bag. And Google says the AI controlling them is the most advanced robotics model ever. Now, the footage looks incredible, but the real question is whether this is an actual robotics breakthrough or just the cleanest clips Google could find. So let's break down what the robots actually did, what makes it impressive, and what Google still hasn't proved. On July 30th, Google DeepMind announced Gemini Robotics 2. And honestly, the biggest story here isn't the light bulb. It's that Google says one unified AI system can control the robot's entire body. The arms, the hands, the movements, and the balance, all working together as one connected behavior. And that matters because robotics can get messy when different systems are controlling different parts of the same task. One system handles movement, another handles the arms, another handles the hands. And every handoff creates another place where something can go wrong. Google's claim is that Gemini Robotics 2 reduces those handoffs by coordinating everything through one system. Now, we need to make one thing clear. This is Google showing us in its own carefully selected footage. It's not an independent test, but some of those tasks are still genuinely impressive. Google showed the robots packing food into a resealable bag, unscrewing a light bulb, and tying a knot around a trash bag. And these are smart demo choices because failure is obvious. A dropped light bulb is a dropped light bulb, and a loose knot is a loose knot. You can't really hide either one with a clever camera angle. The light bulb task is probably the most interesting though. The robot has to grip something round and fragile. It has to apply just enough pressure to keep hold of it without crushing or dropping it. And then it has to keep repositioning its fingers as the bulb turns. And finally, it needs to recognize when the bulb has actually come loose. That is very different from simply picking up a box and placing it somewhere else. Google's researchers also compared the challenge to the human hand, which has roughly 22 articulated joints. It's more of a reference point for the level of dexterity they are trying to reach. Walking and balance have improved massively in robotics, but hands are still one of the hardest problems, especially when the object is slippery, fragile, or changes shape while you're holding it. And that's clearly where Google wants this release to stand out. But one robot completing one difficult part is only one part of the story. Google also showed two robots operating in the same garage. The robots are called Apollo and Duo. They tidy the space and place tools into a bin at the same time. Google says each robot is running its own separate copy of the Gemini Robotics system. So there doesn't appear to be one central AI directly controlling both robots. And neither robot visibly stops to negotiate with the other. They just keep working. That suggests that robots can operate independently while remaining aware of what is happening around them. But the footage doesn't tell us exactly how much of the sequence was planned in advance. It also doesn't prove that the robots were actively coordinating with each other. They may simply have been given separate jobs in the same space, and tidying a garage is a fairly forgiving task. There isn't one exact order in which every object needs to be moved, so the robots have plenty of room to look smooth, even if their behavior isn't perfectly coordinated. The hardware is also worth separating from the AI. Apollo and Duo appear to be third-party humanoid robot platforms, so Google's main contribution here is the intelligence controlling the robots, not necessarily the physical robots themselves. And this is where the release starts getting a little less clear. Google hasn't published success rates. We don't know whether the robots unscrewed the light bulb 9 times out of 10, or whether it was one successful attempt after the entire day of failure. There is no independent researcher testing it. There is no standardized comparison against Tesla Optimus, Figure, or 1X. And there is no confirmed public release or broad API access just yet. So is Gemini Robotics 2 actually a breakthrough? I think the answer is yes, but probably not for the reason the highlight reel suggests. The important part isn't that one robot unscrewed one light bulb. It's that one AI system appears capable of coordinating the robot's full body while handling delicate objects and adapting to the space around it. That is genuinely impressive. But does that prove Google now has the most advanced robotics model in the world? No, because most advanced is a comparison, and Google hasn't shown the comparison just yet. Right now, Google has shown us a breakthrough demo, not yet a proven breakthrough product. The moment we get independent testing, real success rates, or a fair comparison against competing robots, I'll break down what the results actually show. Subscribe if you want the evidence, not just the highlight reels.